Ever think the Bible and science are enemies? Get ready for a surprise. This video reveals how the Bible, surprisingly, anticipates scientific discoveries and aligns with proven history. Discover a Bible you might not expect, accurate, reliable, and full of unexpected truths. Subscribe to the channel for more revelations that will change how you see this age-old book. How can we judge if a book, especially one as ancient and influential as the Bible, deserves our trust? A good starting point is to consider the consistency and truthfulness demonstrated over time. Just as we place our trust in a friend who has always proven loyal and truthful, the Bible, throughout the centuries, has shown unmistakable signs of reliability. Let's examine some key aspects, supported by both its own pages and external discoveries. The honesty of the writers. The trustworthiness of an account largely depends on the integrity of the one writing it. The Bible writers stood out for their remarkable honesty, not hiding their own mistakes, their weaknesses, and even the failures of their own people. The example of the prophet Jonah is illuminating. He openly narrated his reluctance to obey God's command and the subsequent correction he received without trying to justify his behavior. This transparency, found in many other Bible writers like Moses, who recorded his own shortcomings and those of the people of Israel, indicates a deep respect for the truth and a desire to report events accurately, both positive and negative, even when it was unflattering to themselves or their nation. Their practical truths. A book that offers effective guidance for daily life, even millennia after its writing, possesses an intrinsic wisdom that transcends the ages. The Bible is rich in practical advice that touches on fundamental human dynamics, offering principles that continue to be relevant for the challenges we face today. The Golden Rule stated in Matthew 7:12, "Therefore all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do you even so to them," is a universal foundation for building healthy relationships based on mutual respect. Similarly, the advice in Proverbs 15:1, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger," offers a psychologically sound strategy for resolving conflicts and promoting peace. The continued relevance and effectiveness of these and many other Bible principles in the lives of people of every era and culture testify to the depth and practicality of its wisdom, applicable to personal, family, and social contexts. Historical truths, evidence brought to light. The Bible is not simply a collection of moral teachings or spiritual parables. It is deeply rooted in a specific historical context, with references to real people, existing places, and concrete events. Over the years, archaeology has provided numerous pieces of evidence that confirm the existence of the characters, places, and events narrated in the scriptures. Consider King David, whose existence, once a subject of debate, has found significant corroboration in the Tel Dan Stele, an Aramaic inscription from the 9th century BCE that mentions the House of David. Consider also Nineveh, the powerful Assyrian capital whose existence was doubted until the 19th century when its impressive ruins were discovered, revealing even detailed bas-reliefs that describe biblical events such as the conquest of the Judean city of Lachish by the Assyrian king Sennacherib, in surprising agreement with the biblical account in the book of 2 Kings. Another fascinating example is the seemingly minor detail provided by the Bible writer Nehemiah, 5th century BCE, regarding the trade of the Tyrians, Phoenicians in Jerusalem, Nehemiah 13:16. Archaeological discoveries in Israel of artifacts of Phoenician origin and remains of fish, typical of the Mediterranean Sea in Jerusalem, support the existence of such trade, making the biblical account historically plausible. These are just some of the numerous cases where archaeological evidence aligns remarkably with the biblical narrative, providing a solid basis for its historical accuracy. Scientific truths. Although not a science textbook in the modern sense, the Bible proves surprisingly accurate when it touches on concepts that fall within the realm of science. The statement found in the book of Job 26:7, dating back about 3,500 years, which describes the earth as suspended upon nothing, is a remarkable example of early scientific insight. In an era when prevailing cosmological concepts imagined a flat earth supported by mythological figures or immersed in a primordial ocean, this statement, anticipated by millennia, the later scientific understanding of gravity and space. It was only in the 17th century, with the formulation of the law of universal gravitation by Isaac Newton, that science would fully confirm what the Bible had stated in simple and direct terms. Other biblical passages, such as those describing the water cycle, Ecclesiastes 1-7, Isaiah 55:10, and the dynamism of mountains and seabeds, Psalm 104-6-8, show a notable consistency with modern scientific discoveries, suggesting an understanding of the natural world that went far beyond the knowledge of the time. Explore more details in the dedicated video, Science Confirms the Bible. The fulfillment of numerous biblical prophecies stands as compelling evidence for its reliability and divine origin. Isaiah's prophecy concerning the fall of the powerful city of Babylon, dating back to the 8th century BCE, foretold with extraordinary accuracy not only its destruction, but also the name of its conqueror, Cyrus, mentioned by name about 200 years before the event, and specific details of his military strategy, such as the diversion of the Euphrates River and the negligence of the Babylonians in closing the city gates. Isaiah 13:17-20, 44:27-45:1. Specifically, Isaiah prophesied that a man named Cyrus would conquer Babylon and free the Jews, Isaiah 44:28, 45:1, that the Euphrates River would dry up, opening the way for Cyrus's army, Isaiah 44:27, and that the city gates would be left open, Isaiah 45:1, causing Babylon's military to cease to fight, Jeremiah 51:30. The actual occurrence of these events centuries later testifies to the remarkable predictive accuracy of the Bible, far beyond human capacity to foresee the future. Can this book be trusted? As the renowned English scientist Isaac Newton stated, "I find more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane secular history whatsoever. The evidence, both that discovered through archaeology and that inherent in the consistency and honesty of the text itself, speaks powerfully in favor of its reliability." Another amazing aspect that builds trust in the Bible is its incredible internal consistency. Imagine asking 40 very different people, living in different places and times, to write parts of a single book. Many wouldn't know each other or what the others were writing. Would you expect a coherent result? Yet, the Bible is exactly that kind of book, written in even more unique circumstances. remarkable consistency. Despite unusual conditions, the Bible was written over a span of about 1,600 years, from roughly 1513 BCE to 98 CE. Its approximately 40 writers lived centuries apart and had very different backgrounds: fishermen, shepherds, kings, a doctor. A unified central message. Despite this diversity, the Bible writers developed a central and consistent theme: the vindication of God's right to rule mankind and the fulfillment of His purpose through His heavenly kingdom, a world government. This theme begins in Genesis, expands in the following books, and culminates in Revelation. Details that naturally fit together. The consistency is even noticeable in small details, often in a clearly unintentional way. Take the account of Jesus feeding the large crowd. John specifically mentions that Jesus asked Philip where they could buy bread. John 6:1-5, while Luke places the event near Bethsaida. Luke 9:10. John had previously mentioned that Philip was from Bethsaida. John 1:44. It's logical then that Jesus would ask someone from the area. The details fit together, but the harmony isn't forced. Plausible differences, not contradictions. Some accounts show differences, but they're the natural variations of eyewitnesses. If multiple people witnessed an event and reported the exact same details with the exact same words, wouldn't that be suspicious? Everyone has their own perspective. For example, the color of Jesus' robe, purple according to Mark and John, scarlet according to Matthew 27:28, Mark 15:17, John 19:2. But back then, purple could refer to various shades between blue and red. The lighting and context could have made the color appear slightly different. The internal consistency of the Bible, even in the places where the harmony is clearly spontaneous, is further strong evidence for trusting its authenticity. Science and history in hand, we've seen an incredibly accurate and consistent Bible, far from a book of outdated myths. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Subscribe to our channel to explore other fascinating discoveries that will illuminate the Bible like you've never seen it before. There's a world of truth waiting to be revealed. Don't miss the next videos